Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. So this is the second part of the two-part series of videos where I talk about the to-do list in the JP version of Monster Strike, version 10.2. And the previous video was about things for beginners to do, and they have a lot more things to do, so they got their own video. And then this video will be covering intermediate to expert goals. And yeah, beginners, all of that stuff you could probably finish in the first 3 months or so. But depending on how familiar you are with the game, maybe you're coming from the English version, then that could be done in 1 month or less. But anyway, let's look at the intermediate to-do list. And I think all of these things can be accomplished in the first 6 months or less, depending. The first one is to get the Tally Topper Ableberry. And let's see if I have one of those. Okay, there it is. So the Tally Topper Ableberry will give you more medals at the end of a mission that you clear. And the reason why you want medals is so that you can buy things. I think the most useful thing is the extra treasure chests at the end of a quest. That is especially helpful if you're trying to get drops of impossible monsters or colossal monsters. Since there's no guaranteed drop from that clear. Also, if you really like going for Ableberries, you can use the guaranteed gold Ableberry that the boss drops at the end of a mission. And so that's a really good reason to get the Tally Topper. And then in Japanese it looks like this. I'll put it somewhere on the screen. You want to get that. The white Ableberry that I have here, the S class, that gives you 60. S plus gives you 80, and then S plus plus gives you 100. Of course you want the S plus plus, but the regular standard S is better than nothing. And then you want to put this on a monster with some kind of strong bump combo. So Beelzebub here, he's a pretty good choice for that. He also has the Demon's Bane, the Slayer for Mancers and Demons. There's a lot of quests like that. And then you could also put it on really strong 4-star monsters. But yeah, to put it on just really any character, and then to use it, especially in the newer quests, where they have that 5x multiplier, that will be really helpful, I think. And then the medals that you get from this berry, they'll have all the multipliers put on top of that as well. So you're not getting just 60 or 100, you're getting like maybe upwards of 500. For that bonus, so that's really good. And then, maybe less necessary, but still very good, is the S rank berry, which gives you more time to get the S rank. And that can help you, also get more Ableberries. If you're able to clear a mission, quick enough without using it, that's ideal. You can save an Ableberry slot that way. But that can also work really well with the Tally Topper Ableberry. Okay, and then other things that intermediate players should work on is getting drops of all of the super extreme monsters. And those are also called lethal monsters. And then if we go here into the library, here we are, we can see that there are a bunch of super extreme monsters in here. Here is Fukahide, Yumiru, Mikumo. And yeah, they are kind of more difficult quests. But they are also better monsters. And then especially for players just starting out, having maybe one of each form of these super extreme monsters can really help you. They're pretty powerful, and then they're often designed so that they can be really good in the high level, impossible or colossal quests. So try to get all of those. And then if you're really starting out and you're having trouble even beating them, it might be worth, going through it with like some kind of max luck to raise your chances of getting a drop. And using continues to get through it. Just, die a bunch of times, but get through it and try to get the drop. If you do beat a super extreme, you will get 5 orbs. That's if you complete it when it just shows up naturally during the week. So, you can, lose 4 times and still come out ahead, actually. And then maybe get a drop. And yeah, for players that are just beginning, I do recommend doing that. They are worth it. Okay, and then for beginners, I recommended unlocking or creating 5 max luck monsters because that will get you that limited time monster. For intermediate players, I recommend making 10 max lucks. That will give you more rewards, and it'll also give you a drop of Dark Muramasa. And I'll show you him here. He's a little outdated, but again, for players just starting out, he can be really good. He's got a double null ability, he's got the light resistance, he's got a pretty good bump combo, lots of hits, so he's really good against scorpions in particular. And then with him as well, he comes in the pre-evolution version. And then to get him to the Ascension version, it takes a lot of work and a lot of materials. So for him too, just like with Light Murasame, I do recommend using this guy here, because that will just like insta Ascension anybody. So I would use it on him and then save yourself a bunch of trouble and then get a pretty strong monster. Oh, and going back to max lucks, once you make 10, then you will probably get about 300 rank in all of these elements in the Spirit Crests. And then the least expensive skills that you can pick up in the Spirit Crests are 300. You need 300 rank. So once you get that, you can start to use Healing Wall Master, which is very good, of course. You can also use, what was the other one? This one here. This will give you prevention or resistance to Dizzy, so that can be sometimes helpful as well. But yeah, once you get 300, you can start using those abilities. Okay, for rank, I recommend rank 150. That used to be necessary to go up the Tower of Champions. That's no longer the case, but you want to raise your rank anyway. And then every 50 ranks that you raise, you will get more team slots. That's always nice. And then you'll get more plays through the library, which is also really nice. And then once you get to the intermediate stage, I think you can get TSUKUYOMI and KUSHINADA. Those are impossible missions, but they're among the easiest, and the characters you get are among the best. So that's very nice for beginners. So here's KUSHINADA, she's in the library, and then TSUKUYOMI is here, also in the library. For TSUKUYOMI, you want to bring a mix of bounce and pierce characters with a null gravity barrier. And then for KUSHINADA, you want to bring characters with null gravity barrier and or no warp. Fire characters, I think, are better. And then if you had to pick between null gravity barrier or no warp, I would say no warp. So yeah, get those two guys, max them out, and use them everywhere. And then finally, for techniques that you want to master as a intermediate player, I would say get really good at pinch shots. That's when you take a bounce character and you get stuck in between two characters, or in between a wall and a character. Another technique is bouncing off walls and then, hitting what you want to hit, like grabbing a heart or, doing a pinch shot there. A little bit more difficult than that is to bounce off an enemy and then do the same thing. So try to get good at that as well. Okay, and then I'd also get really comfortable at doing very shallow angles. Beginners will often just do 45-degree angles everywhere and just try to hit bump combos and things. But yeah, get used to using shallow angles. That will make it easier for you to position your guys. And then you can also get more concentrated damage from your direct hits. And this becomes super important in the highest level quests, where bump combos don't do as much damage, and you're going to do most of your damage with the direct attacks. And then finally, I would kind of focus on thinking ahead. Instead of just, randomly flinging every guy. Kind of look at the next 2 or 3 turns. Who is going to act what? Kind of prioritize. Who has a good shot on where? So that maybe you can wait on the current turn and then do it more effectively with a later turn. That kind of a thing. And I think that will sum up all of the intermediate goals. Next up, we will look at advanced goals. And then from here, the timeline is kind of iffy, so I'm not going to put a timeline on it. And then for most players, these advanced goals are going to be the top goals that most players go for. And I think for free-to-play players, all of these goals are doable. And then some of these goals will require hatcher monsters, but nothing beyond what you can get naturally. If you just pull, you'll get maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 hatcher monsters a month, and that should see you through most of these goals. But yeah, goal number 1 for advanced players is to clear all of the impossibles and the colossals. There are a lot of them, so that will take time. And then, of course, for the colossal monsters, you need to have 5 max lux. But if you've been following the steps, you have that already. And then you also want to get HAKUA and DYNA. And they're a little difficult to get because they only appear once in a while after a standard like extreme quest or super extreme. HAKUA, I think, has a less than 0.01% chance of appearing, and then DYNA has maybe just a 1% chance. She has a better chance of appearing. But yeah, you can challenge them after they appear, and HAKUA actually you can get by making 30 max lux, so you can get around that way. They are difficult, and you do want to build teams to play them. There are other videos which talk about that, so you can refer to those. The next challenge, and this might be one of the highest challenges for most players, is going to be to clear the Tower of Champions. 40 floors, and they're difficult. Floors 21 through 40 or no continue. But you get a lot of rewards, a lot of orbs, and Babel, the limited character. So that's a very good goal to set for yourself. And then the thing that you unlock is this bingo board, and yeah, you want to clear this as well. And if you are free to play in particular, you are going to want to make multiples of impossible monsters and colossal monsters, because a lot of them are good for a lot of quests, but once you use a monster once, they are unusable for the rest of the sealed watchtower. And then once you clear this, then you get the Hero's Scroll, which you can use to put ableberries on whatever monster you like. So that's pretty cool. It's a nice trophy. It's also useful. So yeah, Tower of Champions and sealed watchtower. And then as for the number of max lux that you want to make as an advanced player, I would say 65 to 75. The reason why I say 65 is because once you do that, you will unlock all of the abilities available from these max luck bonuses. You unlock the lowest level. They have the least chance of setting off, but you do unlock them so that they are possible. And then, yeah, 65 here, we get the stamina refresh possibility. 60, we get the extra HP, and then 55, we get the speed up to our friend monster thing. And then the reason why I say 65 to 75, you need 65 to unlock all of the abilities. You need 75, about 75, to get the rank 1500 in the Spirit Crests. And then once you get to 1500, you can unlock lots of abilities. Maybe most notably are the second tier of the Slayers here. You can also get the better version of the Healing Wall Master. You can get defense from the fire columns and the gravity attacks and the needle panels. The better version of the status resistance, and I think that is it. Yeah, 1500 I would say is a good stopping point even for the Spirit Crests. Any of the abilities after that are super expensive. You need like 2500 or more, getting up to 5000, which is insane. And then of those 65 to 75 max lux, I would try to make a few of those super extreme monsters. They're very good. Some of them are excellent for kind of all-around use, like Kevin Ascension or Mikumo Evolution. And then some of them are like very good for impossible or colossal quests, like Koyuki here. You can use her in Arcadia, or Barouchka for Eden. So yeah, try to work on some of those. And then for the rank you want to aim for advanced players, I would say 200. We're just going to go by 50s, basically. 200 again, you get more team slots, you get more plays in the library. And then for techniques that you want to master as an advanced player, I would say aiming and then firing your guys so that they end up where you want them to end up. So yeah, this will take a lot of practice, especially with shallow angles. This will take kind of like a knowledge of hitboxes of enemies, and also the speed of your characters and kind of guessing where they will end up. In addition to that, kind of learning the levels, like the order of levels, where enemies appear, and then also the order of the enemy's attacks. The more you can learn about that, the easier the game will get. And then also getting good at bouncing off the wall twice, and then doing what you want to do over here, like grabbing a heart or hitting a weak point or something. That's an advanced technique. And then also mastering the perfect horizontal shot or the perfect vertical shot. This can be good if you want to get multiple hits in a boss's weak point if your positioning is good, or if you need to stall in order to charge up strike shots or build up hearts or things like that. This is especially useful in the Tower of Champions. But if you can master those shots, that will really, really help you. Okay, and then next we have expert goals. These are going to require many more Hatcher monsters. It's going to take either a very long time playing free-to-play player or a pay-to-play player. And then all of these goals are unnecessary to the enjoyment of the game. You can do pretty much everything without having to go for these goals. But they are to beat the Sacred Grounds, which I have not attempted yet. Oops, it's not here. But it's the thing, it appears once a month and it has different levels. And then if you beat one series of levels here, you get a unique character. And then you can gather all those characters to take on the boss of that area. And the boss is very powerful. Let's go here to the Monsterpedia and look at that. I think it was Warp. Yeah, here we go. So the boss of the first Sacred Grounds is a Tignos, and he's very, very good for a drop monster. Double null ability, he's got the super slice and dice like Hanzo, and then the wall-bound strike shot, which was the first for a drop monster. And then the other one, I think it was Minesweeper. Yeah, there we go. This is Garagora. He's the boss of the second area of the Sacred Grounds. And yeah, also double null ability, meteor strike shot, and then a very strong breath bump combo. And then he's really good for Armageddon, one of the more recent Colossal quests. So yeah, if you are an expert player, I would say you can take on the Sacred Grounds. I've looked a little bit at team compositions you could use as a free player to get through them, but they look really tough, and they're very, very reliant on colossal monsters. So there's a lot of teams of Arcadia, 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 some kind of Hatcher monster. So I might think about doing that in the far future. But yeah, that would be super duper high level play, I think. Otherwise, expert goals, you want to make 150 max lux. Once you do that, you unlock all of the max luck bonuses. So yeah, it goes up to 150, and then you get the higher upgraded versions of the skills, and then more orbs and more spirit points. And then for the rank, I recommend 250 again, more team slots, more plays in the library, more stamina. And then for techniques that you want to work on as an expert player, that's going to be match shots, hit stops, and loop hits. Those are pretty difficult to set up and difficult to pull off, but if you can manage it, you can kind of one-punch bosses and then skip a stage, or even skip all the stages and just clear the mission. Again, totally unnecessary. There are some top-level JP players, YouTubers, that don't even mess with them at all, and they're still super high level. But if you wanted to, you could work on those. And yeah, that completes the intermediate to expert goals. And actually, I'm going to introduce a secret level, and that is insane goals. These are super, totally unnecessary. Say goodbye to your social life or whatever if you take on these. But they are goals within the game. You can certainly do it. And there are quite a number of JP players that have achieved these goals. The first one is to make 250 max lux. And you might be wondering why you want to make 250 max lux if these max lux bonuses only go up to 150. The reason for that is because of the spirit crests. The highest ability that you can unlock is the top tier of the Slayer. And you need 50 max lux in one element to get that. So yeah, 50 times 5, 250. And what that does is that gives you an extra 25% damage against that element. That's pretty crazy. That's like a Slayer, and that also goes into the bump combo, so that's also a sidekick. Yeah, so sidekick and kin strength in one on a monster. That's crazy. And then other goals for insane players are to make max lux of HAKUA or DYNA. This takes a lot of work. You have to go over and over through extreme quests in order to get those appearances from HAKUA and DYNA. And then, yeah, you just got to beat them. You can get maybe 3 drops, so you need 33 appearances to make max luck of those. Neither are necessary, they're just trophies at this point, so yeah, keep that in mind if you are thinking about doing that. And then you can also make max luck of Tiknos or Garagora, those 2 animal Sacred Grounds guys that I mentioned. To make the max luck of them, you should make the max luck of some of those other characters that you get from the Sacred Grounds, which will be tough, but can be done. And then finally, for a rank, I would say rank 365 or above, or 999 if you're totally insane. 365 used to be the cap for like the first year or something of Monster Strike. But then a bunch of people hit that cap, so the game, they raised it to 999. I think at some point there were only like 40 people in the world that had rank 999. I'm sure it's more now, but you get like 600 something stamina, which is crazy. I could be wrong about that, don't quote me on that. But yeah, that is a goal that you can go for. So yeah, for most people I recommend the advanced goals. That will keep you very busy, and then you will see like 95% of the content of the game. So yeah, hopefully that was interesting and helpful, and we'll see you again. Thanks for watching. Take care.